the pirate game. Alright, PVZ. Let's have some fun. Alright, nope.
Our pylon is under attack. Are under attack. Your probes are under attack. Your probes are under attack. Our pylon is under attack. Highlight for iron.
Stalling the clock. I gotta look at all the bases right now with the other probe.
Our pylon is under attack. We are the blades of iron.
Occupy him over here.
Is over.
This one we're gonna have to go straight into oracles.
Base is under attack.
Dimensional. Oracle.
They're getting another base at the third.
Dimensional strings attuned.
I usually go with 6 oracles.
Oracle perceiving.
And then we gotta switch to Phoenixes in a little bit if they're going
Dimensional strings attuned. Oracle perceiving.
let's just make just in case.
Extrapolating strings. Harmonized. We meet our fate. You seek guidance? Our window is short. It is destined.
Base is under attack.
The thread. An Aerodine Rashagal.
Our pylon is under attack.
Extrapolating strings.
Mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted. Base crystal jar.
Our window.
Channel.
We're going now with Phoenixes after. I'm gonna kick out. Up.
Prismatic. Teleport successful. Base is under attack. Teleport successful. Teleport successful. Teleport successful. Teleport
Extrapolating.
teleport successful.
How can I aid?
Teleport successful.
We interpret. The stars align.
We face the enemy. I will teleport successful.
Harmonized.
Teleport successful.
Engaging the enemy. I see you. Extrapolating strings.
attack. The skies await. Teleport successful. Mineral feed. Our pylon is under attack. Teleport successful.
You know, let's get Phoenix time.
I will comply.
You seek guidance? Extrapolating strings.
I am eager to strike. Our pylon is under attack. Engaging the enemy. Now. Understood. Time for battle. On the wings of justice. I stalk through the storm. I will comply. For honor. I will comply. On the wings of justice. For honor. None for God. Understood. Templari. La Farosh. I stalk through the stars. Understood. La Farosh. I will comply. Time for battle. I stalk through the stars. On the wings of justice. For honor. I am eager to strike. I will comply. On the wings of justice. For honor. Orfield online. Where do our enemies lurk? I stalk through the stars.
Phase crystal.
I don't know what he's up to. Get some immortals. But you don't want to leave.
Zak Naku Apar.
That's his choice.
Core online.
Mineral field depleted. I will comply. Understood. La Farosh. For honor. I stalk through the stars. I will comply. On the wings of justice.
Channel the light of Ire. Annihilation commencing. I return to
Oh man,
serve.
poor guy. Got him. Alright, I'll explain it. Oh, salt came. It just came silently. Silent salt. We'll rewind it. Yeah, it was some silent salt. Whenever you don't get GGs or nothing, they're so like frustrated that they just leave so quick that they don't, you know, they leave really quick. That's a sign of salt in itself in regards to like not accepting, you know. That's if they GG, good luck, have fun. If they don't, good luck, have fun, they might not know what GG or well played is, or you know. But if they do, like this person didn't, so this person probably just didn't understand the culture. So it just depends. I just go off of the ones that say good luck, have fun, because when they say good luck, have fun, they know GG, and when they don't GG, it's like, okay, well, now you don't want to play by the rules. So that's the only thing I do, is just kind of like go off of the ones that do say good luck, have fun. The others, you know, some people just don't talk. Some people just don't talk. But this player did stay in a little longer than expected, so you know this one was a little more saltier than the average just leave after you're dead. This one was like, I don't want to leave yet. Alright, so what did we do? So we go for a pylon first. And then we go scout. Then second one, we go for the forge. And then we make a gateway. But during the time that we wait to get a gateway, because we're at 35 minerals, we're at their side of the map. So I was about to get my 150 to make a gateway, and then the drone came over and started nibbling. So I'm like, oh, okay, so now you're going to know that I'm going forge first. Because he doesn't know that I was going to get gateway. Because he didn't give me the time to give him that information. So because my 150 is not done yet, and I was about to make my gateway right now, he's only going to see it as a forge first cannon rush. It just makes sense that way. Say, oh, he's going to cannon rush me. He's going forge. But if he would have came a little later and he saw the gateway come up, then he would have known that I didn't make it after he scouted. I made it because I wanted to, which means I could wall off. He wants to wall off, make a cannon early for a pool deny or something like that, you know? But still just assume that he might go cannon rush, but not sure. This one's more like, because he saw ahead of time, he's like, oh, you're going to cannon rush me. Because I had no choice. I couldn't make my gateway. He even interrupted location, so I was like, okay. So I made my pylon instead. Instead of getting that gateway, I was like, well, I can't get the gateway right now. The probe's right there. Let me get pylon right here because I made a hatchery. I mean, because there's no hatchery. Whenever there's not a hatchery, you make a play. There's different plays, but you got to figure out what's going on upstairs first. So the first thing is my probe got here, and there's no hatchery. No hatchery. So this drone, two things. It could fake that it wants to go over here and make a hatchery, or it could want to make a hatchery. Some people are really good at being here to fake that they want to make a hatchery, but they're going for a pool first or something, or like an early pool. And it's just a part of acting in StarCraft that you need to kind of like learn the skills of manipulation, you know. So that's a possibility. The drone could be over here just acting like, oh, well, I'm going to make a hatchery. Oh, you blocked me. Or, you know, it could just want a hatchery. So we got to find out. We go upstairs. And this was unexpected. And that's what I love about real-time strategies and playing different players. Different players react differently. The game could turn different ways. So in this case, we came over here. Oh, pool timing a little bit later. So you did want to make a hatchery first. Okay. First sign of information. Did want to make a hatchery first. Now that we can't make a hatchery first, we're making our transition to waste money because we need to spend the money. So then I come over here and there's drones. Whenever there's drone nibbling, it's not often you see that, but what that tells you is this person really wants this base, doesn't want the other bases. Now I'm not sure positively that he didn't take the other bases and he wants this one as well, so I have to confirm that later. But right now, this is a very heavy sign of I'm going to spend some mining time loss to take out the pylon because I want this base and I don't want to get it somewhere else. I do not want that hatchery vulnerable, at least not in the early game. So the choice is to kill this pylon. And when they're choosing to kill this pylon, I can't, you know, there's no hatchery to cannon rush. So what I have to do is keep them from taking this hatchery. We already saw the pool. The pool timing is not up yet, so that's going to be some time. So we know that we can stall a little bit because the pool's not going to be up yet. So I always like to get a gateway because a gateway is really hard to kill even after it gets depowered. But you put a gateway right in front so that if the pylon gets taken out, your gateway stays there as a structure that's really hard to kill. That takes forever to get this hatchery. So right here, we're just delaying the hatchery. So now it makes, you know, information that he's bringing out more drones means that he really does want this base. And then we make another pylon in front of this area where the hatchery will be taken. Now this one I wasn't sure if it was exactly the right spot. I don't think it was, but he doesn't know that sometimes. So sometimes they panic so much that we're like, well, I don't know either. Let's take it out anyway. And so, you know, I make sure that the other one is definitely a spot that they would need it to take out. So that's why I make two. And I make a zealot. The reason why I make a zealot is because sometimes you can get it out and create more distractions, because a zealot just does good in general, just like harassing, forcing out lings. But just the simple light turning on allows them to assume that you're being very aggressive. Like, oh, he does want the zealot out. Oh, okay, that's part of the plan. And let me keep staying on my aggression because I don't want him getting what he wants. And so that's the thing about the zealot. It's not exactly needed to come out, but if you can get it out or harass, it just plays the part and delays everything. It's all about delay, 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 delay. And so here, the pylon's still up. It makes the gateway just relevant. And so we need to take out the pylon first in this case, because we don't know if the zealot will come out by the time we try to kill that. So now it's depowered. And then I make a cannon just to create the illusion. I'm still going with it. I'm trying to like, okay, well, obviously I'm not going to get the cannon up. There's no way I can get a cannon up with that much, involvement. But I'm going to make it to assume that I'm reacting only to this build. In reality, in my head, a player that does this, they're losing a lot of mining time. They're using a lot of lings early on to do what they have to do. So the reaction is very costly on the Zerg. The fact that there's no hatchery right away and it was denied and they wanted to get this hatchery and it's delayed the hatchery, it allows my base to mine decent to where if I get 2 bases, then the Zerg's barely going to get 2 bases as well. And the 3rd base is going to be way delayed even though if they get 3rd base. So there goes the gateway. That's when our timer starts. Whenever that gateway dies, we time it in our heads. Okay, about a minute the hatchery is going to start up and finish. So we got about a minute there. Because I always expect the drone to come down and make a hatchery. Even if it doesn't, you still expect it because your timer has to be there. And your scouting also has to be there. If you scout, you can know exactly what's going on. But that is a little bit later. And so that's why I send a probe out to start scouting on this side. Before, with this one right here, I have 2 scouts. I have this scout and this scout. The one that this one was doing is it was checking the 3rd and the 4th. The reason why that probe was checking the 3rd and the 4th is because sometimes without too much information on their side, if I haven't seen a hatchery and they're taking out his natural gateway to take the hatchery, then maybe there's a hatchery on my side of the map. Maybe they're going to go for the hatchery at the proxy. And so I don't know that, so I have to verify that. So that's what I'm doing with this probe. I'm verifying, is there a hatchery? Going back and forth on a patrol, because maybe if I go over here and I stop scouting here, the drone comes and makes a hatchery and it's my luck. So patrol is really good for that. Now after that, now that we know it's not a hatchery proxy because the gateway got taken out, and now we got to find out, is there a hatchery out in the map or isn't there? I don't like to send one probe over to the whole map because sometimes there's crossroads that interfere with the vision of the units, and then they'll be able to kill the probe. So because of that, we have to sneak out on opposite directions. So I'm using the patrol, check the 3rd one, and then I'm sending the 2nd probe so that we can start going to the opposite sides. So that one's going to start there, and then this one's going to be redirected to the other bases, right? It's because we need to find out where's the hatchery, and if there's no hatchery, we're going to use that information to know that he went for a late hatchery. And with the late hatchery, I know it's been up for, in about a minute it'll go up, so my timer is kicking. Okay, there goes the hatchery. I didn't expect it here, so I kind of went a little too close to it. But try not to kill it. Try not to zap it. That was the closest thing. I was like, oh, no zapping, and hopefully he doesn't see. So there's times where you assume they saw, but they might not always see. Because it's really hard to look at the mini-map and also do what you think you want to do and not catch a little dot for a second. So sometimes you do, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes just do what you're going to do, but just be cautious. Or delay a little bit just to see if they did react or didn't react. So sometimes you have to, play your cards anyways and kind of just be cautious about it. Let's see. If he reacted, if he saw me, something's going to come soon, not later, in most cases. because in this case it would be a cannon. So let's go and deny it is the case. So no reaction yet. No Zerglings yet. Didn't see me. I wait for 7 squares. At 7 squares when I start this, that means that the hatchery is going to have to go up before the cannons go up. If I start it too soon, then I'm going to be very vested in resources, and the hatchery can get cancelled. And then I just spend so much money on my side for no damage. Because they could keep this from being a base. They can just go to this base. You know, which is why this probe is also here too, is just to catch it. But this one, there was no hatchery, and then when I caught it, the link scouted. But that's why you don't cannon too much, because they're gonna be like, oh, well, what about this one? Is gonna get cannon too? Let me go over there. So you don't want to always invest in that. So my switch was on the void raids to take care of that. So this one was to take care of the cannons, and the void raids are to take care of the follow up, which is gonna be the third base. Unless something happens and you get more information. It's all about information. So we got the cannons. I made 3. The reason why I made 3 is it's kind of like a mathematical thing for me, based on time in the game. So I do 2 cannons right here because it's the early game. Early game, there's no lings or anything. I take 3 cannons right here because of the fact that there's Roach Ravager play, and it's better to just kill the hatchery as quick as possible before they can get there, and you just make sure that you focus fire on the hatchery. If you're going for a 4th and they let you go for a 4th, you go for 4 cannons. 4 cannons is because by that time they should have an army to kill this off, and if you don't get it out as quick as possible, you're not gonna get good at it. So you always like add a cannon for every time you kill it if they let you, all because of time. And so it works for me, because I learned the hard way. So now we're going for oracles. Why did we go for oracles? Well, because we delayed the natural for a good while, and I assumed in a minute from now the hatchery will go up, and I know now for confirmation this space is gonna go down because I made 3 cannons. So that timing of killing this hatchery, and because of that, I don't need the void raids. The void raids get countered from use because of the cannons. So this replaces the void raids. And the reason why is because now they're going to have to go take a 3rd. And taking a 3rd at this point is way delayed. So I'm assuming possible Ling Bane Muta. And with Ling Bane Muta, most likely they're going to go, they're going to get the mutas so that my void raids don't do very good in this position. Because I have to go to the inside. I have to go to the main base. The main base is usually most protected. Sometimes it's overprotected. So I don't want to make a bad choice and delay my tactic with the void raids, just because of the way it went down in the beginning. So with the oracles, it's a different mix. With the oracles, I wait until I get 6 oracles, and with 6 oracles, I can go in there and take out 2-3 queens, take out the front of the hatchery instead of if they make too many spores in the back. I normally go through the front whole position. If they go for like mutas, usually I'm able to go and do the damage with the oracles and then scout to see if they're going mutas, and from there I switch over to phoenixes. So the oracles are kind of like, sometimes you speed them up ahead of time, and it all depends on how you're doing the game, how you're interacting in the game. This one just cancels out the void rates, so I can go for the follow-up. So straight to oracles on this one. And I'm basically just waiting to get 6 oracles. It's a lucky number. Now there goes the probe. It scouted the hatchery, and the Zergs just didn't trust me anyways. So they didn't trust me, went over here and denied it. Which is why you don't always expect this base to, you don't expect this to work all the time, because they will panic and just... Which is why the four cannons work if you do go for it, because you're going kind of heavy. It's got to be a hit or miss kind of situation. But I'm not trying to take that risk in this game. Trying to go oracles, that's my play. If I go cannon right here, that's a risk. A bigger risk. Alright, so there goes my oracles. And they're going to be able to do damage. Now, the good thing about oracles is oracles are very fast. They're very fast units. They move around. They can get... They take out queens really quick. And, you know, the hydras, they do very good in this early start. So, I was thinking, if he went early hydras, I can wipe out those hydras ahead of time. But if he didn't go early hydras, it might be mutas. And with mutas, you know, I might go Phoenixes afterwards. Alright. Now here, yeah, you're going to lose an oracle. But in this situation, one spore, not going to be very much. It's going to die pretty quick, and the drones die just as quick. If it was void raids, sometimes the void raids are so slow. And if the queens are there, if they have like 3 queens, they could do a pretty good amount of like shoo away the void raids. So if you win void raids and the queens went, oh, there's void raids coming, let me just shoo them away, get some spores. Well, then your void raid play didn't do that much. But the oracles, they come in, they see some queens, goodbye queens, take them out. They take them out. They see a spore, they get right on top of it, and then kill everything right afterwards. Now just hold position. One survivor. And with 6 oracles, what I like about 6 oracles is it gives you enough energy that you save to gather 6 oracles to kill a hatchery while you do this. You can go in here, take out the take out the queens, take out the spore, take out or 2 spores, take out the drones, and then you still have enough energy to kill the hatchery. That's how much energy it benefits you to get 6 oracles. If you go with like 4 oracles, 2 oracles, you don't have enough energy to do all that. You'll probably have enough energy to kill the queen, kill the spores, maybe a couple drones and stuff, but then the hatchery, you'll probably get to like right here, and that's it. And now you gotta go back, and now you left the hatchery, you know, up. So you can see how much energy. You have just enough energy to wipe out a hatchery. I still have more energy, so even if the hatchery had a little more, it would have got taken out. But that's the thing. The main objective is to wipe out a base. Now, on this side, I went void raids. I didn't see anything going on. You know, I was like, okay, well, I took out the natural. I wiped out a lot of drones. I know he has another base on the other side, but I don't have any energies with my oracles to go over there and do damage. So I'm just going to let that base be for a little bit. Now, what could I do? Well, I haven't seen mutas just yet. If it was mutas, I should have seen them. And if it is still mutas, I'm actually in an advantage right now to go home and be safe real quick and just kind of be watchful. Just be watchful for mutas. So the way I'm watchful for mutas is get a couple void raids, and then with the void raids, I can get phoenixes behind it if I need to defend with the void raids for a little bit, run around. But the main goal is to get some void raids and then phoenixes, so that I can go kill this base, because I gotta kill this base, and there might be more spores than usual. You never know sometimes, because it's a far off base, and they're like, if they have resources, they'll try to use it. So the void raids are way better at keeping you from like draining your energy and not getting anything done. And your void raids just kind of find a spot if they could, and then they just find a spot and start zapping it, force the spores up. While that happens, the oracles charge up, and then your phoenixes follow your void raids, and then the phoenixes counter the mutas if there is a muta switch. The void raids will die with the muta switch, but the phoenix will be the ones that are going to be kings in this situation. So now I go with the Void Raids. Now that I have enough Void Raids to go and kill that hatchery, I'm gonna follow it up with the Phoenixes because this is to counter the mutas. We haven't seen it, just in case. If it's Hydras, we pick them up. So if it's mutas, we have the Phoenix to counter the mutas. But if it's Hydras, we pick them up, and then it lets our Void Raids do more damage than what they usually do versus mutas. So, and then the Oracles do they do the rest with the Hydras as well. Kind of assumed, okay, if there's Hydras, my Oracles are gonna be there before my Phoenix play goes. So you kind of have this like. And so there he goes. The Void Raids are going to come after this hatchery. The Oracles are going to find out what are we going to do. Now, in this situation, the drones, when you kill a hatchery, they're going to go to the next hatchery. And a lot of Zergs, or a lot of players in general, are just not too common for having somebody just like wipe them out, anticipating that as an AI move. They're already stressed out what's going on. They don't expect like a real quick smart play. So a really good way to use your Oracle in this situation is you kill the hatchery. You don't target the drones because you don't want them to think that you're after the drones in a sense. You're after the drones if you come from the back. If you come from the back, you're actually trying to nibble on the drones, which is what the spores are for. But if you go through the front, you're trying to take out the hatchery. So when you're taking out the hatchery, well, they're already like, oh shit, I gotta make some units. So what happens, you get the Oracles over in this area, the drones are gonna be like, oh, I gotta go mine and send the minerals to the other hatchery. And they're just gonna follow themselves to their death until the Zerg catches it and drags them back. But it usually costs some drones. Some, all of them. So some depending on what they're doing at the time. But then I move out, and then I stop right here. I act like I'm going to this base, but literally I'm just stopping at the pivot point. And then that's where the Oracles do the job. Like, come here, gimme. And so now that the Oracles did their part, they're gonna go in and, Okay, now if there's any mutas coming out at this point, because where is his money going? That's where the Phoenixes are important. The Phoenixes you kind of like use them to take out overlords, take out drones. So with Protoss, como estamos? Anselm. Anselm. Handsome. Or no. Handsome? Is that handsome in a very creative way? Anselm. Oh, okay. I don't know if I said that right at this. Anselm. Sounds like handsome. He was only going to kill Lings and it would be almost 200 mineral loss. Yeah. The construct. See, when you're going for early aggression, like as a Zerg player, the Protoss could either react and try to like also do stuff and spend money, or you could just say, why do I need to spend money? They already overspent. I can take the lead. This is my time to take advantage and take the lead because they overspent on reaction. They overspent on because they don't know. They don't know what you're gonna do, so they have to play it. They have to play it. Either they have to double down, or they call your bluff. You have to, and so some overreact more than others because they're reacting to, are you crazy? Are you not crazy? Are you going to do something I think you might be doing and I need to react? So every person has different thoughts, and you kind of have to play those thoughts. Like, what thoughts are you thinking and what can I do to kind of react with those thoughts? So the other thing is Phoenixes. I'm a Sky Toss player. So with Phoenixes, I learned how to do Phoenix things. With Void Raids, I learned what to do with Void Raids things. I don't just death ball them. I don't just get them all and just death ball and just move around with one death ball. I have roles for these units. And you got the Oracles. After they do the early damage, they become stasis creators. And with the stasis creating, you can start going into Robotech. With Robotech, you get gateways, stalkers, Immortals, Colossus, Storm. You go into that position with the mothership, and the stasis will definitely keep you engaged in any kind of big clump armies at times. They come in very heavy, boom, they got force fielded. And during this time, this is where you use your phoenixes. I don't want to make any more phoenixes. I'm not going to go mass phoenixes. The objective is to get enough phoenixes to pretty much create it as an army, and they're going to go and take overlords, kill hydras, keep going back and forth while you're macroing, and then the stasis wards will help you on the defensive part. And then you're going to have to get immortals and all that stuff as you're doing this. The void raids, I just have them on patrol because they're only going to be used to do side attacks. So the void raids are like, oh, he's taking a fourth, let's take it out. Oh, he's taking a fourth over, let's go fly around and then snipe it. So they're hatch snipers. The void raids are hatch snipers in this particular case. And so they're not really used just yet. You know, the phoenixes are used right now because we need a scout. Phoenixes are really good at scouting and harassing and killing overlords, killing drones, killing whittle down units. While when we find a base outside in the by themselves, the void raids come and snipe it. They just go and see the hatchery and snipe it and run or recall back home, so that they don't have enough time to actually go and engage that army. Yeah, see, at any point, if I feel like I need to move my phoenixes, right? Like once I'm done here and I get my phoenixes and I patrol them out, when I patrol them out, that's when I'll use my void raids on the other side and just gotta find a base and snipe it, because the aggression has happened on the left. They're not gonna expect it on the right, and if they expect it on the right, you just keep playing that card, just keep moving around, and you don't just overcommit. Moving around definitely confuses them, because now they're gonna always move around and react. If they don't just, or they overreact, and you just wait. If it's not the third base you can take out, let's wait for his third till they get to the fourth base. When they take the fourth base, they're gonna just get caught off guard, and we take out the fourth base, and we just play it the next play, not necessarily this play. It's like, okay, how about I just don't play this one, I just wait for the next one, be patient, and then mess with you a little bit. And so yeah, when they think that they can get a fourth, that's when their guard's down, and then boom, you snipe it, and you're like, and they're like, well, now I'm in the same place where I was before later on now, because I didn't expect that. So it's like, yeah, I put you in the same position. I just had to wait in a later game and the position in that game to get you back into the position I really wanted you in. But I had to be patient. For it. So that's a lot of the situations with these. With the phoenixes, when you have this many phoenixes, you don't want to stay in one area. What you want to do is you want to back up. You go in, you get shot by spores, and we have this called regeneration, right? We got shield regeneration, and that's where the phoenixes in decent numbers take a good role. Because if you look, you go in, you get shot by a couple. Now in this case I lost it, but you go in and you pull back, and every time you pull back, this spore is not going to remember what phoenix they last shot. They're not gonna go, oh, I remember which one I shot. I'll start with that one. When you pull back and they stop shooting, unless you focus fire as a player to the weak ones, which are really hard in this situation with this clump, you're gonna be able to like regenerate that phoenix, and the spore, the likelihood of it going to that phoenix is very low. And so because of that, you have more free time to kill more stuff without getting as much damage on you than you would. So this is where we as Protoss utilize the regeneration, the shield regen, and we just go in for a little bit, pull back. The spore's not going to find the same phoenixes. When we go back, they're going to hit two fresh ones, and we pull back. So you get that good timer of how much you can stay in the ring and how much you got to pull back to really take advantage of that, to make a very stressful environment to our Zerg player. See, I'm doing it right here. I'm trying to get the overlords. I'm getting hit, but I know as I keep moving, they're gonna stop, and when I go back, it's gonna shoot something else. So I'm moving again. As I move back, they're gonna stop shooting the same one. And to find it again is gonna be hard, so we go back in. We're gonna get some fresh blood. See how that works? You're just utilizing the shield regen and the AI difficulties in regards to like attacking them. So there's a lot of them that are shot. Most of them are in orange, yellow. We got some real deep reds, some orange. We got a fresh one right there, another fresh one never been touched. But you could see that the value is there. All of these could have been shot down and killed if I didn't move around, because they were targeted. And you don't need to if you can just go over and just soak up that with some regen. Hey, what up, Sai? How's it going? Hey, what up, Cassidy? Yeah, and then he died right here. It was over at this point. GG.